Regret is a tough thing to swallow in life. You know, when you do something, but you'd rather be doing something else, you feel some level of remorse or regret when you have to make decisions because you don't know if one decision is going to lead you to a better life than another. So too did the Bioware co-founder Greg Zeshuk? Whatever. Greg, pretty much co-founder of Bioware. Yeah, so this is actually talking about Jade Empire and the possibility that Jade Empire could have actually been a franchise had they made one incredibly crucial decision during the game's development. And whenever we're going to be like, if there's a story about Jade Empire, I'm obviously going to talk about it because a lot of people give BioWare a lot of credit for games like the Dragon Age series, for better and for worse, especially with the release of Veilguard, and also the what's it called? Sci-fi series features Command and Shepard. Mass Effect, yes. Took me a second to get there, but we got there in the end. Yeah, so Mass Effect and Dragon Age are the big ones that everyone talks about. That's why it's unfortunate not to hear anything about, say, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, or, heaven forbid, Jade Empire. So Jade Empire was originally an Xbox exclusive and released in 2005, or was it end of 2004? Pretty much it was on the final timeline of Xbox's life cycle. And basically, actually no, I think it came out early 2005, and then it's because late 2005 we got the 360 release. Basically the idea was that Jade Empire released at the end of the Xbox life cycle and eventually unfortunately did not perform particularly well, because had Jade Empire released at the beginning of the 360 life cycle, there is actually a chance that this game could have actually gotten enough sales, because you don't get mini games at the beginning of a game at a console life cycle, so it generally tends to sell well enough to where you can make sequels and then turn those games into franchises. Because if we look at a game like Knack, for example, Knack PlayStation. Here we go. Yeah. So worth keeping in mind, one very important thing about Knack is that it sucks. It's actually not a particularly good game. I don't know why anyone would ever want to play Knack. Like I said, it's just not good at all. I did not like it. But what ended up happening was it did end up getting a sequel. Why on earth would Knack ever get a sequel? It just makes no sense. And on top of which, I think the Knack sequel came out like what? When did Knack 2 come out? That's a good question. Knack 2. Because if Knack came out in 2013, Knack 2 came out in 2017. Okay, so like 4 years later. And since then, we haven't seen another Knack, and that's probably for the better. That being said, a second Jade Empire would have been very nice, though. So, while Jade Empire is a very good game that deserved to at least have had one sequel, if not a franchise built around it, with the possibility of that being the case. But the thing is that Greg didn't do that. Greg actually listened to Microsoft, because it seems like Microsoft were the ones who made the really bad decision in the end. Not the bad decision, gave some extremely bad advice that then caused Greg to have this regret now. So basically what ended up happening was Microsoft was like, oh, you know what you should do? You should release this game in 2005. So that, and Greg was like, but hold on, the 360 is coming out. If we just delayed it a little bit, we could actually release it as a new game on a new console system and potentially create a new franchise out of it. And Xbox was like, oh no, just release it in 2005 and just release it as is. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. So basically, because Xbox had some really bad advice for Greg, as the co-founder of BioWare, he decided to release the game at the time in which Xbox suggested he should. And then looking back at it, realized, well, in retrospect, should probably never have listened to Microsoft and just kind of did our own thing, to be completely honest. But keeping in mind that this game was going to be an Xbox exclusive for quite some time before it even reached PC, probably about, I think, 5 or 6 years later, I want to say, but I could be completely wrong about that. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of an interesting story, that Jade Empire could have potentially been a franchise, but didn't end up being a franchise because the co-founder of Bioware listened to Xbox when they clearly shouldn't have. Yeah. Here we go. Here's the quote from Microsoft here. So let's just kind of look down a little bit. So, rumors about a Jade Empire sequel appeared from time to time after the game's release. In 2019, for example, EA filed a trademark which hyped fans for a possible sequel that never happened. Of course, this was in 2019, now we're in 2025, so obviously nothing happened. In 2021, former Bioware developer Mike Darrow revealed that Jade Empire 2 was cancelled after being in development. And over the years, fans kept hoping for Jade Empire sequel, but that was not to happen. After the recent underperformance of Dragon Age Veilguard, Bioware has now been completely cut down as a studio overall, and I don't see them doing anything good anytime soon in any way, shape, or form. Far be it from me to say otherwise. But here's a quote from Microsoft. So Microsoft was like, no, you should release it now, right at the end of the cycle, because it's a great time. It was the worst advice. Here we go. In a recent interview with My Perfect Console podcast, Greg revealed that he believed the main reason why the game failed to get traction was because it was released at the end of the original Xbox's cycle. According to Greg, Microsoft was like, no, you should release it now, right at the end of the cycle, because it's a great time. It was the worst advice. Had BioWare waited for the launch of the Xbox 360, which was much more successful than its predecessor, Jade Empire could have been a bigger hit and attracting a larger fan base, and especially, now this is me just kind of coming in, at the launch of a new console cycle, you only have access to maybe like 7 or 8 games as options, and so those options generally tend to become larger franchises later on. I mean, look at Viva Pinata. I don't think we would have gotten a sequel had Viva Pinata 1 not come out during the launch of the 360. But I thought that this was actually kind of a fascinating subject to talk about, so I thought I'll just, kind of put that out there. It's about Jade Empire, so why the hell not? But with all that being said, however, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year, and with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.